my goodness, Ryu, did you just sub? Ah, I'm so sad that my alerts aren't on the main screen. I need to fix that. I wouldn't even noticed if I hadn't seen the little banner. Ryu, thank you so much for that sub. That was so kind. Oh, well then Amaze subbed. See? I can't even tell because I don't have the alerts on my main screen. Amaze! Same thing. Condescending gratitude is what I'm sending your way. Thank you for that sub. Appreciate ya. I can't get Pinterest to load, so I may not have any references today. We'll see. No, I can read names in chat. It's just my chat's not saying anything about anyone subbing. I don't know why my stream chat doesn't say it. Amazon is not Amaze. No, it is not. Thank you so much, Amaze. And thank you, Ryu, for hanging out. How are you doing? We're gonna draw some doggos today. You like doggos? We drew some doggos yesterday. Here's the ones we drew. We, in honor of the Iditarod starting, Sunday. I think it was Sunday was the first day of the Iditarod. Decided we would do a canine-themed sketch week today. Or today, this week. This week of days. Yeah, let's draw some puppos. We'll probably we're gonna do like foxes. I was thinking foxes and small canines, but I might do foxes and just like random non-wolf canines. Because I was thinking about it this morning, and I kind of want to draw a maned wolf. I feel like you don't see maned wolves very often. So, yeah. I may do that. Let me know if the audio is messed up, too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, is Facebook having an outage? My Facebook worked fine this morning, so I didn't know that was a thing. Thank you for the heads up, by the way. Hold on. Daz, hey, how's it going? Are you okay with dogs? I know you're a cat, but these are cat-friendly dogs for sure. 100% we're gonna be drawing. I had all these great references of like foxes and maned wolves and maybe even some bush dogs, because those are kind of unique. But I don't know, maybe some doles? But I can't get my Pinterest to load, so I was wondering if it's not working for anyone else. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Hey Raga! How's it going? How are you? I love those little cat feet. That's such a good emote. I really do want to do some animated emotes. Don't worry guys, the doggos can't hurt you through the screen. Let's see. Yeah, maned wolves, they're super good. The most sus thing I've ever said. Alright, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to resource all of my references, because Pinterest isn't loading for me. I was curious if it was working for anyone else, but I may be the only person who actually uses Pinterest. So, looks like Google Images is working. I just have to put on some different filters to get the right images in Google Images. Because it's, yeah, talk about sus. I just don't trust that half of this stuff isn't AI generated, you know? Oh no, this song will not do. It's too much. It's too much DDR for this early in the morning. I had a weird night. Woke up super early, was like really productive, and then took a nap, and now I'm just like, am I alive? What's happening? Alright, here's a nice little fox image. You can see his feet. This is always my issue in all these animal drawings, is I never get to draw the feet. Maybe I'll do a fox jumping. That would be a good one. Can pet. I know. Okay, guys, we're starting with foxes, though, so for those of you who are cat fans, this is the most cat-like of the dogs, right? So, I mean, there's that. Yeah, maned wolves are cool. They are really cool. Let's do a little jumpy fox. This is a good one. Alright. We'll start with these two. Hopefully Pinterest will work for me, and I can pull up my maned wolf references. If anyone else is on Pinterest, let me know if it starts working for you. It might just be me also. I bet he'd let you, for sure. For sure. Ryu, how are you? Fox, our cat software running on dog hardware. Exactly. So this is like, we're gonna ease you guys into the dogs here today. Look at this little guy. Let's start with okay, just go easy on you guys. We'll start with a very, like, benign pose. I feel like we should do a quick anatomy sketch, because I feel like they're very different anatomically than dogs. Make sure I'm in the foxes folder here. I have this all organized by folder, guys, so I can find stuff. One of my big goals this year is to get more organized. I'm trying. Alright, come over here. There we go. That is a huge photo. Let's just make that a little smaller. Okay. Folks. I don't know where to put you. I'll put you right here. How about fox anatomy? Peachy Keen. I'm glad you're Peachy Keen. Yeah, see, when I click that link, Amaze, it's not working. Is it working for anyone else? I have like a whole canines folder. Like the main page is loading. I wonder if that's just the cookies. But when I click caniforms, which is where all my canines are. Oh, Amaze has the magic touch. It's working now. Hold on. I can actually grab all my references now. That's exciting. I'm still here. Oh, this is such a cool photo. Alrighty, let's go get a fox skeleton.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
They are very cat-like. Like looking at these skeletons, it's actually kind of crazy how cat-like they really are. Alright, we'll just work from an actual skeleton today because I'm starting to not trust. I'm not trusting any of my skeletal references anymore after what happened with the whales. So let's work from this one. I'll post this in Discord, so just hold on tight. I'm going to make it tiny. This will be a quick one. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I think it's always a good idea to start with skeletal reference so that you can draw things a little more accurately. Alright, there's that one. Hopefully that actually goes in there. Excellent. Okay. Here's this one. Oh, I don't know why this is in here. You guys hear this? Let's go with something a little more chill for these foxes. Welcome to my playlist, Ryu. I finally found all my old music, and it's a lot of middle school chaos. You're gonna hear some things that you haven't heard in a while. At least I know I have been. Foxes are... Wait, what? Bisexual wolves? That doesn't make... I don't understand that one. But I do agree with the cats in the body situation. The cats in the dog body situation. What happened with whale skeletons? Oh, yeah. So when I went to draw whales a few weeks ago for Whale Day, it was like... I couldn't find... I guess the skeletons weren't the problem. I was trying to find musculature because I don't really know much about cetacean musculature. I don't really look at it very often. So I was just kind of like, well, I guess I'll draw some muscles and make sure I know where they all go and all that stuff because I think that's just as helpful as the skeleton. This gives you an idea of proportion, so like and placement. But I think the muscles can really help you know like what's going on under the fur. Like why is there a bump there, or why do I put a line here instead of here? I think it's just helpful. Anyway, I went to go find some whale musculature diagrams, and like they were all different. Like the ones in like a book that I found, they looked really weird, so I went and cross-referenced them to like some other ones, and they looked super slightly AI. Like I couldn't really tell if they were accurate or not, and so then it just turned into this very long rant about how it's really hard to find like accurate artistic reference these days because of all the AI stuff. Anyway, there's so much garbage out there right now. So anyway, I'm very skeptical now of these images that I'm pulling because it was such a debacle. But anyway. So they do have very canine skulls, these foxes. Like, this feels very doggo. But the body, I don't know. They're just very cat-like. They're interesting little pups. All right. Hello, Lagumcore. Fun reference drama. I don't know if it was fun. The VOD might still be up. I can't remember how long ago that was. Maybe it's not. But I am posting those VODs on YouTube slowly but surely. So, you know, if you need to just see some reference drama, you can head that way. Yes, I have been putting before... Oh, 2020. I've been putting before 2021. So, yeah. Did it all start in 2020? I knew that they started developing it before 2022. I was told 2021, but yeah, I've been doing that, and I've been doing minus AI and minus prompt. But even when I did that, I wasn't really like, there were still some references that looked a little off, and I just wasn't sure, so I kind of backtracked. I've actually got a ton of reference files on my old hard drive that it's been on my list to do for a while now, to clear those off and get them on Pinterest or somewhere I can access them more easily. So I'm gonna probably do that after stream. I did look through my tutorial files, Lagumcore. I know you talked about maybe if anyone had good anime background tutorials, but the only ones that I found were the ones that I had already shared with you. I think I already have a lot of those in my Pinterest there's like a tutorials folder. It's like a helpful things folder on my Pinterest. You're welcome to look through that if anything there is helpful, but I don't think I have any others, so I apologize. I thought I did. I remember having a bunch. Maybe they're on my old DeviantArt. Like, I probably have a tutorials folder on my DeviantArt favorites, but I haven't checked that thing in so long. I probably need to take all my work off of DeviantArt. I don't know. It's so hard to know what to do, and everything takes so much time. Maybe I'll just pay someone to do things for me. Anyway. There's no muscle really. They're all operated by pistons and yes, and even root motors. Oh my gosh. Oh, speaking of motors, Ryu, you'd be very proud of me. We did cars last week. I'll show you in just a second when I'm done sketching this fox. Very inaccurately. His little toes are hilarious. Okay, so it gives you the rough idea. Let's move on to this guy. So like I've been saying, if anyone's new to sketching or hasn't sketched in a while, or if this is your first time, find your big shapes first. This is a little bit of foreshortening, so it's probably a little bit of a harder one to start with, but we'll do one that's more of a side profile here in a bit. Let's see. Yeah, that is a good... If anyone's not looking for stuff... Yeah, 2020 is probably safe, because I'm sure some of that was being developed back in 2020. I remember playing with some really early versions of generative AI. Somebody posted in my Discord, like, it was just like a little toy is how it felt to me. But it was like, insert a prompt and the computer will, like, generate a thing for you. And I'm sure they had some kind of database they were pulling from, obviously, but I don't know. I didn't know anything about it, it was kind of new. I want to say that was like the end of 2020, so maybe it was either that or 2021, because I remember I was still doing my my temp check job that I had during 2020, because my place of employment almost had to fire us because our whole industry shut down. But then they found like temp work for us around other parts of the company, basically, which was great. Eternally grateful because I got to keep my health insurance. But it was like the slowest job I've ever had. And so I spent a lot of time just goofing off. I did some art, but I probably was a little... I wasn't as productive as I wish I would have been, looking back. I was just, you know how it was, guys. You were all there, most of you, I would assume. If you're on Twitch, you were old enough to remember COVID. But yeah, I just kind of ended up playing around with various things. And anyway, somebody sent me that, and I was playing with it during an afternoon. So I guess, yeah, maybe 2020 would be better. I don't think it was strong enough to generate actual, like, anything that didn't look like fine art, like some kind of impressionistic thing. What? Am I really rambling enough to deserve that amaze? This is conversationally accurate. I think you're abusing the ramble signal. That's new, Ryu. That's to get me back on track when I'm rambling. Well, at least that's how I take it. It's also to alert the masses. Casey's rambles have begun. I don't think I earned that one. It's topical. Right, I did draw his face too big though. Hold on. Big face. Big face fox. Actually, maybe I just drew his body too small. Maybe that's the issue. Anyway. 2020 is probably not a bad idea, I suppose. Since I've been cold, I've been rambling. I guess I better stop. I'm gonna add one that's a squirrel, Ryu, because I feel like I do that a lot too. Oh my gosh, this song. What is... I haven't heard this in so long. Yeah, POD. Pod. Good old pod. Does this bring you guys back to the early 2000s or what? Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty bad. What can I say? I dug through the dregs of my music files to find these guys. Alright, hold on. I messed this up. I think I did it right the first time and I'm just making it worse. Hold on. Hold, please. I think his head was just too big. Let's just put all of this back together. Ah. Okay. I don't want to redraw the whole thing. We're just gonna slide his shoulders down a bit because I think his shoulders are just too high. I think because they match up everywhere else. So I think it's just that. Alright, anyway. The joys of digital art, guys. You can just fix stuff like this. But yeah, I want to do a squirrel one for from Up, which I just rewatched recently. And I actually made notes on like everywhere that they said squirrel, so that I have options. I disable my re-rant stuff and sometimes I regret it. Wait, what was the re-rant? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, I might need to disable it. Oh my, this is a derpy face. So this is exactly what you should not do. You should not draw the details before you have the form down. So let's get the form down first. We'll do the muzzle. The nose. His little face is somewhat proportional now. It looks so emo. It's got like the most, this fox specifically has like the most mascara. Do you guys see this? Just give me my canine insert now, guys, right? I know, right? When I throw in my 90s, 2000s music where kids go, hey, that sounds good, who is it? I know, right? Oh, it's so funny. I feel like I have a good mix though. Like it's not, I mean, I'm biased, obviously, but I feel like I try to have a mixture of things on here so it's not just one era of music, but there is a lot. Like, we tend to go in little clumps. Like, right now, this is a song I found in college, so we're moving forward in the 2000s a bit, but it's still older. Yeah, what was it? I had, like, a whole bunch of DDR songs on the other day, Ryu. But Ryu, it is good to see you, my friend. I tried to pop into your stream the other day, and like right as I got in there, you ended the stream. So I wasn't able to say hi. But I haven't seen you on as much. Hold on, these eyes are terrible and off-center. So if anyone is drawing and struggling with this guy, just remember the challenge of trying to look at your reference more than you're looking at what you're drawing. That's going to help you make sure you're actually observing and not just drawing what you think is there. I feel like most of the time when I'm drawing something and it starts to look bad, it's because I'm spending too much time not looking at the reference, like when I'm doing this kind of thing. Not letting the reference inform as much as it should. One of the wonders of the world come down, one of the wonders of the world, none cares, none cares. One of the wonders of the world. What do you mean with what you think is there? So there's this idea of a schema that's like the official word for it. So I actually learned this when I was being trained to be a teacher. Is there's like a schema is like your set understanding of anything, and sometimes like if you're just drawing like by looking at only what you're drawing, you're using your found knowledge or your impression of what something looks like, but when you're looking at what's actually there, you're going to notice things that you might not have already logged away in your brain. So like one way that I have done this, of course you would draw what you see, but a lot of people don't. Like if you watch people sketching, so like when I was teaching, I would do this exercise even with my kindergartners. And I do it with adults too, and it works really well. I call it my 5-minute yes you can draw lesson. Like whenever somebody tells me they can't draw, I'm like, nope, I'll show you that you can draw. And so basically I'll say, all right, draw a cup. Like I just put a piece of paper in front of them and say, draw a cup. And so usually they draw something like this, right? Like there's their cup. And then I put an actual cup in front of them and I say, okay, now draw a second cup, but this time look at the cup more than you look at your paper. And so by doing that, it kind of emphasizes that like art isn't about being good at it, it's about training your observational eye and like how much time you've spent doing that. And then we have a conversation afterwards because inevitably the second cup looks better. And then we have this conversation afterwards about like, so now next time you look at a cup, you're going to notice things you just noticed. Like, oh, there's a shine. Like, oh, this is what the light does. Oh, there's this slight curve. Or, oh, there's this or that or the other thing. And over time, if you observe that enough and commit it to memory enough, then your imaginative drawings will be better. But the more you draw from life and from observation, the more you're filling up that creative bank account, if you will. And so, yeah, I think a lot of time, like I would see my students a lot when they were drawing, even if they were drawing from like a still life or something, inevitably they eventually just start drawing on the paper. Like they're like, if I put a pumpkin in front of them, they start just like drawing the pumpkin. They're literally drawing this schema or what they think the pumpkin looks like, instead of actually allowing their brain to take in new information. So like people who've drawn for a long time, like you kind of don't think about this, you just do it automatically. So maybe that's why it doesn't make sense to you, because you've obviously drawn for a really long time. But I don't know, that's how I've always, I don't know, it's advice that has really stuck with me since I first got it in college. And I feel like I've just tried to, I don't know, remind myself and remind other people to do that too, because it makes a difference. Like I was struggling with that just now. Like I was drawing too much on this. I was looking too much at refining this sketch as opposed to actually looking what the image is showing me. So let's see. I assume it's a subconscious thing. I'm trying to fix that second part because work ain't slowing down. Oh no, I'm sorry. Streams have been difficult. I'm sorry to hear that. It is hard. Oh no, your Twitch connection's not great. Like you have bad internet at your new place? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, time to stretch. Hot takes due to having ADHD about drawing advice that is unclear yet parroted by everyone. Oh, I guess I apologize if I wasn't clear. I feel like, yeah, feel free to share your advice if you have any. I just feel like it's been really helpful to me. And I guess the reason I didn't explain it is because I feel like I have talked about it a lot when we were doing this series, but if I'm being unclear, please let me know. I certainly don't want to be vague or confusing or incorrect in something. It's just been something I've observed with my own students as being helpful and with myself as being helpful, so I try to remember it for me. But I hope that makes sense, what I said. Draw what you see, not what you think you see. Well, let me know if I didn't explain it very well. Like I said, I've been trying to talk. I feel like I've said that a lot and tried to explain it a lot throughout this warm-up series, but maybe I haven't been as clear as I thought I was. So I apologize for that. Internet's fine, speeds are speedy, and OBS is OBS-y. Yeah, boy, if that's not a statement. My OBS is very OBS-y. Possibly bottlenecks to my ISP, or just... Ah! Aw! Sloppy! Thank you so much! I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that sub. What the heck is this ad business? Oh, I appreciate. Well, enjoy your ad-free experience here. Thank you for that sub. Yeah, new month, I guess. Don't draw the reference as a set of symbols. See, and that I would need some explanation on that because I've never thought of reference as a set of symbols. That feels really unclear to me, but that could just be me. Because I've not heard anyone say that before, and I don't know what that means. It's possibly bottleneck for ISP because it should be in my Twitch. Oh, I hope you get it sorted, Ryu. That does sound really frustrating. I need to change my alerts because my chat doesn't tell me if somebody, like, I don't know, did Amaze gift you that sub? Was he gifting again? Here's my other chat. Sometimes my other chat will tell me more clearly. I don't know who to thank. Thank you to whoever that was. I hate that one pet flea medication ad. What pet flea medication ad? I don't even know what that is. Somebody told me that they very rarely get ads because of the country they're in. Was that you? No, that was somebody else. He's so fluffy. Okay, let's try another one. Incoming ad. Let's see. It was just you, so okay. Well, thank you, Sophie. I just want to make sure I said thanks to the right person. I need to get it. Now that I finally got my, oh my gosh, the adventure of getting my account verified on Twitch. Apparently, my number was all tied up on my old bot account from when Streamlabs actually let me like name it. I had an old bot named Doodlebot, and apparently I had connected my phone to Doodlebot and not to my main account somehow. I don't know how that happened, but I set everything up back in like 2015, so who knows. Anyway, it took me like so long. I finally had to contact Twitch help, like support, to figure this out because I couldn't, like it was showing on my account, my main account, that my phone number was attached, right? And so I couldn't figure out why it wasn't letting me verify because it kept saying this phone number is not attached to this account, even though it was literally right there. And I was getting like two-factor authentication things from this number. Very frustrating. But anyway, I finally got it sorted yesterday. So now that I can do this, I can actually set up Twitch alerts, which will be helpful because I know that you can set up like different alerts for different types of like when someone follows or when someone raids with a certain number of people, or if somebody like subs or resubs or gifts a sub. And so that way I can just tell from the alert. It'll be so much better because I don't know why my Streamlabs doesn't post in chat, but it doesn't even tell me like when people follow. So that's why I've had to turn up my volume so loud, because I'm missing the alerts and I want to make sure everybody knows I appreciate them. It's very annoying. Anyway, that's my story. That was you, Raga. Yeah. So I knew somebody was telling me that. Got 4 ads in 2 months because of your new crane. That's so, I mean, that's kind of a nice perk though, right? Is that you don't have to worry about ads. Novice artists who draw humans draw the features as separate stages, like Eye, nose, eye. Yes, okay, that makes sense. I've never thought of that as symbols. I have seen like a lot of how to draw books break things down into shapes before. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like that, like it's helpful when you're first starting out to think of the form, but I don't like that way of explaining the form. But I mean, I kind of do the same thing when I'm first starting out as I draw big circles. I don't know. I like to think of it more as like you're sculpting, but with your pencil. So like, don't forget that what you're drawing is not flat. Like, pay attention to where shadows are. I don't love this fox. I feel like I didn't do the best job. I do think everyone's brains are different too in the way that you see things. So maybe different techniques work better for some people. Like some people really seem to do well with the whole 6 heads high thing. And all that stuff. But yeah, I definitely think however you draw from reference, you should remember the purpose of it is not to copy the image. The purpose of it is to learn, is to observe, is to train your observational skills, basically. At least that's what it is for me. This one should take you back, Ryu. It's the woman in the ugliest dog in the world, and he and I share everything but fleas. The dog is like jumping up on the counter while she cooks. Oh no. Yeah, that's not great. Drawings end up that way when you haven't studied the underlying yeah, I think form is really important. It happens when you get impatient. Yeah. I don't want to do it. I just want to draw a dinosaur. Yeah. And that's honestly, Floppy, that's really what it is. Like, I think that's, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about my yes, you can draw too lesson that I sometimes run people through when they tell me they can't draw. It's hard for me to not be like, yes, you can. I will prove it to you. But that's like the whole point of that whole thing is that you're just training your observational eye. And the more you train your ability to observe, the better your imaginative drawings will be. And eventually you do get to that place. But like every time someone's like, oh, how long did it take you to draw that? When I've drawn something that was, even if it was quick, I'm always like 36 years or like 30 years or whatever. My whole life. Because it's, I don't know. Because it starts at a young age. Like it's taken you this long to be able to work quickly and to know what you're looking at. You know, it's taken a lot of sitting down and drawing from observation and practicing and looking and all that stuff. So anyway, all right, I like this one because it's got some nice flow to it. So let me post this in Discord before Maze gets mad at me. Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, I've definitely done that too, Slappy. Yeah, lack of guidance. Yep. Invigilators, and exactly. And that's why I keep having to stop myself even when I'm drawing this, because I get really excited about the face. You know, it's like, oh, I want to sit here and like draw this face really fast. I want to ignore the rest of it. But if I do that, that's when I have proportion issues, you know? Like I want to make sure that I'm actually learning about the proportion. Like because I looked at, you know, this skeleton first, I know, okay, even though I can't see the shoulder, I know, like, here's the leg, here's that little shoulder blade that we drew, there's one over here, and, like, all those things kind of inform, you know, and I know that the knee goes like this, because that's what we drew over here, so I know the hip is here, so I know that's where the end of the bottom is, you know, a little badonkadonk right there. Anyway, it all feeds at each other, but it's important to, like, understand the shapes first and the form, but not necessarily, I guess, like you said, think of them as symbols. I've never thought of them as symbols, but I know what you mean. I sure hope so. I sure hope he's about to flop head first. I feel like that would be a perfect outcome to this image. I like his little toes, how they curl. Do you guys see these little feet? They're so like... And then if anybody does want to post what they're working on, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, I'd love to see in Discord if you have any sketches that you want to share from warm-ups. We have a whole section of Discord for warm-up sketches. Somebody was telling me in chat yesterday that rabbits don't have toe pads. Like, they don't have actual toe beans. It's just fur. And I'm like, I always thought they were there. They were just covered in fur. Surely they have actual toe pads, though. Does anyone know the answer to this? I feel like rabbits have to have toe beans. Like, how else does the skin... It's not like it's just smooth skin, right? I've been thinking about this a lot. I should have looked it up. Let's see. I think I missed some. Hold on. Something useful is to analyze the reference, don't just copy. Yes, exactly, yeah, for sure. That's what I've been trying to say is don't, like, we're not trying to copy the image exactly, we're trying to learn from it. The skill's what you can put on the paper is what you can observe from birth. Yep. Yeah. She's been learning since before birth. Yeah, for sure. Okay, maybe not 36 years. That was an exaggeration, but... I think that is a common misconception, though, Ryu, right? Like, I'm sure you've heard this. I feel like I've heard this my whole life. Oh, you're just so talented. Like, oh, I wish I could do that. You know, like, oh, you're just born with this ability. And I'm like, well, not really. Like, it's not like I came out of the womb, like, with a sketch pad. Like, I don't know. Like, I know that what people are trying to say, what they're trying to do is express admiration for a skill, and I get it. But it's hard for me not to rankle just a little bit and be like, but it's been a lot of work. Like, it's been a lot of sitting and drawing and observing and trying things and failing and, like, sometimes very publicly here on stream. I don't know. It's a little bit semantics, but I think that there is, like, this funny idea in society that art is like this mystical thing that you're either born with or you're not. I don't feel that way about it personally. I feel like anybody can do it. You just have to put in the time to do it. I mean, I guess I think, I don't know what you guys think about stuff like this. Maybe I don't know. I'm not alone in this, I don't think. Feel free to object if anyone disagrees, but I think like style and the way you observe, like all of that is kind of tied together. And so like you can put like 20 artists or 20 people in a room, have them draw the same object, and each image will look slightly different. Like some lines will be thicker, or the way the shading is done will be different. Like, and those are just, that's the art part, right? And I think that part is more coded to each individual, but I think everybody has a way they observe things. It's just not everybody's training their observational eye to put it on paper. Or to put it out in the world in whatever format, I guess. See, now I just want to watch Shrek. This is a mistake. Not a trace down in my mind. Yeah, timed gesture drawings are really good for that, exactly. I need to do more of those. We are going to work our way up to people eventually, guys. I promise it won't always be animals. I'm so much more comfortable drawing animals. And I get really self-conscious on stream. Maybe once I have a little more confidence. I really love the how look at the flow of this animal. Like even the fur is like, I don't know, it's very majestic little fox here. Andrew's foot too big, but I don't know, he seems to have an awfully large foot here. Look at his belly furs, they're so cute. Okay, sometimes when you don't see improvement in yourself, it's not because your hand is improving. It's because your eye has improved faster. Now you can see the flaws that your hand may not be ready to correct. It's true, a lot of it is muscle memory too. But muscle memory can be a dangerous thing, because then you can create a new schema, right? Like you can create a new way you draw things. Like I know I definitely fell into that when I was younger. I mean, I still do, honestly. I think that's part of why it's important to try different things and like change it up and draw from reference if you haven't in a while, or I don't know. A lot of people call that like art block, where but I just feel like my art stagnated a lot when I was in high school through college, because I just kept drawing the same things over and over, and at some point it just becomes like muscle memory to draw certain things, you know, like I feel like I drew so Ryu, I don't know if you're still in chat, but you might remember this. When we first did the dragon comic, for like a whole year in 7th grade, I had figured out, I think I could probably still do it. Hold on. I had figured out this way to draw dragons that I really liked. I don't remember where I got the idea, but literally I would just draw pages and pages of dragons. Let's see if I can still do it. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. They all had eyes like this. They had a really, really straight nose. Hold on. I think it was something like this. And they all had nostrils like this. And it was like variations of horns, basically. But they all looked angry. And then they all had horns coming out of here. And they had like the dinosaur. I think I'd probably looked at like a dinosaur skull or something. And they all had little ears like this. Shoot, I'm trying to remember. I might have one of these. If you guys want to see it, let me know. I think I have an old drawing of this in the dragon book. I want to see how close I get. I think it was like this though. It was something like this. Because I had looked at pictures of like a... This is way better than what it would have been, for sure. But yeah, like every single dragon I drew, I just had pages in my sketchbook that looked exactly like this. And it would just be dragons of like, with like different variations. Like maybe their nostril would be a different shape, or maybe they'd have longer teeth, or shorter teeth, or more teeth, or less teeth, or like spikes that were small and spikes that were big. I don't know. I just remember drawing this dragon like a million times, and it becomes like a habit. And then it would get to the point where if I would try to draw something different, I was so used to these tropes, like having a heavy brow and having a nose spike and having whatever, that it was actually like really hard to break, you know? And so like if you feel like you're getting stuck and you're like drawing the same thing over and over, I'm gonna move this because it has nothing to do with foxes, but I might go look at that later just because I think it would be funny. Where should I put you? Put you way down here. There we go. But I swear I drew that picture. Yeah, I sure I drew it so many times. It really is just fuzzy feet. Is it really? For the rabbits? I'll have to go look in that. Let me catch up on chat a little bit. Speaking of gesture drawing, growing up I had the most amazing horse drawing book. Oh, nice. I laugh loudly, and then show them a few select things from middle school. But most folks nowadays don't know I draw, because you haven't really drawn in a while. I still want to draw with you, Ryu. Watching Shrek isn't the same anymore. Oh no! Smash Mouth? Why are we sad about Smash Mouth? What's wrong? What happened to Smash Mouth? What happened? Are you about to make me sad? I'm catching up on chat. Hold on. I feel the same when I listen to a person sing with an amazing voice. Okay, so I actually think that singing is a talent. Like, I think there are some things you're either born with or you're not. I just don't think art's one of them. Like, I think the ability to, like, perfect pitch is not something you can learn. Like, it's something you either have the genetic structure for or you don't. Like, I think singing is a talent. I don't, like you can improve a talent, like you can get better, but you can't learn to be somebody with perfect pitch. You either have that or you don't. Like, it has something to do with your ear and the way that your brain connects to your vocal cords or something. I don't know. When I did, I found out the artist became so familiar with personality of studying cadavers. Yeah, at the time was really off-putting. How can I use this book? The author used dead horses. Honestly, Sloppy, I almost pulled up, so I have a friend who's a taxidermist, and I actually have a bunch of, and just fair warning, if you go to my Pinterest board, I guess I should put them in a separate folder maybe. But in the foxes folder, I have some taxidermied foxes, and she basically has the skin separate, but you can see the muscles. And she's taken these really great pictures from different angles, and it's like the best artist reference, honestly. This is part of why I feel like science and art are so intertwined. Like, you have to be someone who's curious and an observer and, like, asks questions, and I just feel like, I don't know. Cadavers are great. It's sad, but it's one of the best ways to study, you know? This beautiful piece of history. Oh gosh, you do indeed remember these vast amount of paper being used for the same image. It's so true. For those who don't know, Ryu and I grew up together, and yeah, she's very intimately familiar with my drawing habits from like middle school. Oh my gosh, so many. I did so many of the exact same. The horns got freaking insane. Yeah, I'm gonna go see if I have that thing. I might just show you, just for you. Oh, the singer died. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, no, I didn't know. That is really sad. Sit in the corner, dragon. It was like watching hairstyles evolve. Yes, exactly. Like, it would be the exact, it's kind of like an anime, right? Like, they all have the same face in some shows, and then, like, the hair just changes. And, like, that's exactly what I did. Ugh. And then my dragon started having hair, and I had the same problem. I would just draw the exact same, like, furry dragon. I think I can still do that one, too. It was like, oh, shoot. Watch me draw terrible things from my past, guys. They were, like, hold on. They had, like, L-shaped faces, and they had a little mouth right down there. Eyes like this. And then anime hair. It was just like this, and just variations of this, and then the next one would be like, now he's got hair like this, guys. This is a different dragon because of his hair, but it would be the exact same. So bad. Oh my gosh. And that was about the time that I discovered DeviantArt, and then it just went downhill from there for a while. Oh, jeez. That dragon was the entirety of 99. Yeah. Yep. Have you not heard? No, yeah, I had not heard. Cadavers are great. Oh, thanks, Maze. Good singing. You can sing without knowing perfect pitch. No, I agree. You can sing without knowing perfect pitch. I just mean that perfect pitch itself is something that's like, you can't, many vocal teachers talk about how you can't train that. Like, there's some parts of singing you either have or you don't. It has more to do than with just muscles, I think. But I don't think art is something that's inborn. I love taxidermy. Oh, do you? Well, then go check out the go check out that Pinterest thing. Okay, maybe at the end of stream I'll pull out that dragon. I do want to draw at least one more fox before it's already, let's see, 10:40. Let's find another fox. Actually, no, I don't want to draw any more foxes. I want to draw a maned wolf. Dang it. Gosh darn it. Oh, this one's so cute. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by real life Fox and the Hound here. Alright, let's go to maned wolves. Dulls, dingoes, and maned wolves, guys. You guys all know what a maned wolf is, right? You've seen one? It looks like a really tall fox. This one's, I like this picture. That's a good one. There's a classic maned wolf right here. Those proportions, guys, are nuts. Here's a very elegant one. I draw that one just because it looks so extreme. Actually, yeah, let's do that one. I really like that one. I mean, they look like fell beasts, you know? And walk in a runway. I know, right? Look at her. Or him. It's hard to tell. I mean, I love how pronounced their ankles are, though. Like, you can really tell. Let's see. He disagrees that would mean Chinese people were singing statistically. Actually, they are better at singing statistically. Yeah, that's actually what clued me into this. I mean, it could just be my take, but I went through a phase where I was listening to a lot of vocal teachers and listening to podcasts just because I was curious about their takes on songs I liked. It was a deep, dark, stupid YouTube rabbit hole. Don't go down it. But anyway, a lot of them talk exactly about that. There's a ton of professional trained Chinese singers for that reason, because their language is tonal. So they're, from a young age, they actually have to pay attention more. So there is a higher, like, you can train to be a better singer for sure. But like perfect pitch is a little more rare. At least that was my take, and I could be totally wrong. I'm not a vocal coach. Getting into the weird doggos. When DA did their AI, yeah, it was the year before I ended up deleting my page, so sadly I can't go back. Oh no, you deleted all of it? Oh no, case ain't no court. No, definitely not. Definitely not. I'm definitely out of my wheelhouse there too, so I could be wrong, but that's just what I remember taking away from that. But I could absolutely be wrong. Where did this picture go? What is happening? There it is. Okay, we've already used this one. But it definitely just, that's what got, that whole conversation about voice was what got me thinking about how to explain to people that no, art is not a talent, it's a skill. It's just like carpentry or anything else. So even, I guess even if my take was wrong, it still sparked like that thinking, I guess, for me, like that way of explaining it to people. Let's see, which one do we want to do here? Let's see. I kind of want to start with this one. I think it's got the least fur, so you can see what's going on. It's almost fox-like. It's like a stretchy fox. It's not. It's not even in the same. I don't think it's even in the same family. I mean, it's in the canine family, but I think they're like very different branches of the tree. The main fox or the main wolf. I'm calling it a fox. The elves of the canine world, for sure. For sure. They're so linky, I know. They have such cool proportions. I just like how knobbly, like how the ankles are so like chunky. I don't know, it's just like exaggerated. Like you can see this part right here. I feel like that's one thing on dogs I haven't really done a good job of looking at today. But like this angle is a lot more pronounced. I think I talked about it yesterday briefly, but it's a lot more pronounced on dogs than it is on cats. I think, and I could be wrong, I think it's because those bones are shorter on a feline. But yeah, I don't, let's see. Make me I just look at how exaggerated all these angles are. See, I'm already doing the thing I keep saying not to do. That's why I gotta practice this, guys. Find the form, find the shapes. I mean, this almost looks cartoonish. Like, it's not. It's a real creature. This is not an AI animal. Yeah, I've gone back and forth about taking my work off of DeviantArt. I think I kind of want to just, like, hide it or archive it, but I don't know if that actually takes it out of the AI scraping. I mean, to be honest, at this point, it's probably already been scraped. And anything that I've put on DeviantArt is so old, like, I don't really think... I don't know. I just feel like it's probably not that useful, since I do more, like, 2D type stuff. I don't... Like, AI is not very good at 2D. It's more... I feel like people who do more photorealistic or, like, 3D looking, or, like, game art, I think is probably a big one that's pretty impacted. But I feel like, at least for now, 2D is not as easy to emulate because it can be, AI is not good at being exact like that. Although I have seen some like 2D anime style AI images that are pretty crazy. Oh my gosh, is this tattoo? Yep. The nostalgia. That this pose as it is. All I see is the poodle from Oliver and Company. Oh, Georgette. Yes. She was pretty intense. get that song she sang stuck in my head all the time. Mostly, what is it? It's like the first lines of that song. What is it she says? Oh, yeah. She's like, girl, you got work to do. I'm always saying that to myself. And I think that's why, because I'm always like, there's more work to do. No time to rest. But then I start singing that song in my head. Does anyone else do that? Is that just me? Alright, I'm gonna get a little looser here. I'm getting too tight. Ugh. I do like the fur, like this kind of, what is the, there's like a name for when fur does this thing where it like meets and makes a point. I don't know, I just like it. Oh my gosh. I also like these random stray hairs. I feel like this is such a funny animal for so many reasons. Aren't they? I think they're native to South America, right? So this angle is interesting. So it's taken me a minute to figure out what I'm looking at here, but I think this is like the quad muscle, this is the knee. I think there's a little bit of foreshortening happening here. And then there's like the calf muscle going down behind. But it took me a while to get there. So if anybody's struggling with this, oh, speaking of, I guess I should post the reference. I'm so bad at that. If anyone is wanting this reference, it's all going in Discord. But yeah, once you can like figure out some of that stuff, it makes it a little easier to draw from. Just look at like how stylized these forms are. It's like the most so interesting. Aren't they from Ethiopia? Oh, I think there is an Ethiopian wolf, but I don't think these are, I don't know. Let me find out. I thought they were South America. Oh, ad blocker, I don't want to pay you. Sorry. Opened a new tab and ad blocker wanted to talk to me about it. I think you're thinking of the Ethiopian wolf. Yeah, because these seem to be from South America. Ooh, we should draw a tanuki. The fox-like canines. South American canines. Oh, interesting. That's interesting how they grouped these. Huh. The wolf-like canines. So there's the dhole, which I do have some images of. There's also an Ethiopian wolf, I believe. Is it a type of dhole? I don't actually know. I don't know much about. Let me just look up Ethiopian wolf. It's a type of. It's also called a red jackal. Okay. The horse jackal? That's a funny name for it. It does seem to be more closely related to jackals. I don't know. Interesting. They're really pretty. If you've never seen an Ethiopian wolf before, guys, wow, this is like the most blurry image ever of one. Let me just zoom out so you can actually see it. Anyway, that's what they look like. Let's see. Not a wolf or a fox. It is the only species. Yep, exactly. Meaning gold dog. Gold dog? Wait, is that what they're calling maned wolves? Thank you. I should have just read chat. You guys were doing all the research for me. Let's see. Nothing in nature is named correctly. Yeah. Speaking of, Tegan and Sarah, everybody. I remember discovering them in the library in college. I just went through this phase where I was like, at the time, I don't know if they still do this, at the time libraries would have like CDs just available to check out, and so I would just like pick random ones just to like find new music, and I picked up Tegan and Sarah one time, and I like a lot of their music. I found out Tattoo, didn't they like have a huge falling out and it was like all kind of a sham or something? I don't know if I'm remembering that right. I just remember everybody was like all, I don't know. I feel like I heard so much Tattoo music. It was like Tattoo, POD, what was it, like Korn? Or no, maybe that was more middle school. What was the big metal band under you, if you're still here? Early 2000s? I feel like we listened to like 5 bands. Ryu actually introduced me to a lot of heavier rock when I was a kiddo. Well, Ryu and Dragon Ball Z AMVs. Which I think I've brought up a couple of times with some of this music. Okay, I hate this leg. Why I'm doing this wrong. Alright, I put the back legs a little closer together than they probably should be, but I'm kind of sad I can't see the tail from here. I do like how fluffy it is though. So much fluff. All of the fluff. Alright, let's do another one. They are mini. Was it Puddle of Mud or... Who's the one that did Papa Roach? Did you know Papa Roach is still around? Somebody invited me to a Papa Roach concert the other day and I was like, what? Papa Roach is still touring? What? That like blew my mind. Because in my head, as a kid, I just already thought they were kind of older. And maybe they weren't. Or maybe I was just being a kid, but... let's do one more Maid Wolf. I like these guys, they're fun. I want to do this dramatic one here. Drama. Oh no! You tabbed into a birding stream with your cat. How's that going? How is that going? Red pandas aren't pandas. Yeah, I know. So it's so funny, like a lot of the way things are named back in the day when scientists were first finding them, super inaccurate, like totally based on a lot of convergent traits. You know, like that creatures just happen to share with other animals because they worked really well for those ecosystems or for those niches, but not because they were actually like taxonomically related. Taxonomically? There, you know the word I'm trying to say. I'm not a scientist, I just like science, guys. It's getting kind of warm in here, actually, finally. That's nice. But yeah, Puddle of Mud did exist, yes. It was a PR stunt, yeah, I think that's what I heard, Lagom Core. One of their marketing points, yeah. Yeah, it was a big one, I remember that. My ISTJ brain is frustrated by the lack of organization. You know, it's funny. I've actually wondered why they don't just change the names of things, and I think they have for a few creatures, but like for the... I don't know, it seems like it would make more sense to just like rename them. But at this point, it's one of those things that's already in the vernacular, and it's like, can you really get people to stop calling them those things? I don't know, it's interesting. If anyone knows why they don't just rename misnamed species or confusing species. Is it just because it's hard, it's less convenient to try and teach everybody the new name of something that they already know as something else? It's kind of like when we tried to make Pluto not a planet, you know, people are still like, and then, wait, but isn't it maybe also now a planet again? It's like a dwarf planet? I don't know, let's just listen to the killers. Oh, there's a little nuthatch outside my window. Speaking of birds. I'm not gonna try and sing this. I love how fuzzy they are. It's so fun. There's so many things you can do with it, you know? Only know that there's a horse breed that has been renamed. Yeah, the Vanner. The Cobb, yeah. I forget what they've actually called it now. But like a lot of people still call it that because they don't realize that, or they just or it's just habit, you know? Like, it's really hard to change people, like, change habits like that. I mean, maybe over time people will call it a different name, you know? Guinea pigs aren't pigs? right, like, how do you rename a guinea pig? I'm gonna call this a guinea hamster now. Hey, Vale. Yeah. How you doing, Vale? Welcome to chat. We're talking about all kinds of stuff, and I'm way behind. They demoted Pluto. Exactly. They should be able to change animal names around. Now he's trying to chase your reference pics as they move across the campus. That's funny. Should I put a little bird up there for your cat? Or would that be too much? Here is a bird for your cat. This probably will not look like a bird for them. Boop, 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 boop. Tweet. Cat's like, what is this nonsense that does not look like a bird? Yeah, I wonder why they don't, but I imagine it's because it's hard. It must be hard to just get people to stop using a term that they're just culturally used to using, you know? Because I think they did that for the Przewalski's horse too, and I forget why. But I think it's called the Mongolian steppe horse now. But like, you still see it called the Przewalski's horse, even though it's like a ridiculously difficult name. And I've always hated writing it because I always have to look up how to spell it. It's not common verbiage at all. Look at these little calf muscles also, guys. Can I just please point out these calf muscles? Thank you. That's all I wanted to do. Maned wolves. They make for great werewolves or lupogriffs. Lupogriff? Is that like instead of a cat and a bird, it's a dog and a bird? Yeah, they are silly little knot wolves for sure. Actually getting people to call. Yeah, exactly. I think that must be what it is, right? Because it's just hard to get people to switch. Irish cobs, that's what they call them now. That's right. The timing of that dino pic to show up when you said, "Here's a bird." Did I really? That's nice. I like that. The dinosaurs know. They know when they're needed. Hello, nostalgia, anybody? You guys wanted some more old music, I hear, right? That was what we wanted in chat? Yes? No? Maybe? This one's so fluffy. I just want to draw the fluff. I'm doing the thing I keep saying not to do, which is getting too involved in details too fast. But the fluff, you guys, the fluff. Wait, did I post this? Maybe a wolf for you guys, if you would like it. There you go. Many a doggo. Foxy doggo. It's not even a new name, they've always been Irish cobs. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I guess I'd only ever heard the Vanner before. I've just been calling them Vanners. But I guess it's good to know that they're called Irish cobs. The thing of the dino pic, oh wait, no, hold on. He's into the burb. Oh, is he really? No way. He's probably just into the mouse, right? Is he like following my mouse, like on the screen? Like, is it a fly to him? It's like, what is this little white dot that keeps showing up? 2002. Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. I'm definitely not just playing with your cat through my screen across oceans or wherever you are in the world. I don't actually remember. Are you in the US? You don't have to say if you don't want to. But wherever you're at, cat, I am playing with you because I would love to have a pet and I can't have one. I have chickens. So kind of. Oh no! Oh no, we're having the problem with the grass and the mystery feet. I hate this problem. It's my least favorite problem. I don't like the mystery feet. I want to learn the feet. This feels like when you don't know how to draw hands, and so you just put a bush there, like a tree, like when you're a kid. In Rhode Island. Okay, nice, nice. Enjoy some. If you eat fish, please enjoy some fresh fish for me. We don't really have a lot of access to that here in Colorado. Problem with using wildlife photography. Yes, yeah. It turns out a lot of animals live where grass is. If I could quote you, Maze, I would. That is so profound. They sure do. They sure do. I was running into it a lot, I feel like, with the ungulates, you know, go figure. It was very frustrating. It's like, but I need to know what the hooves look like! But I never will. Alright, that's okay. I like how... Like, does this not look like the most cartoonish creature you've ever seen, just on its own merit? It's so crazy. Oh wait, you can quote yourself. I love that. Excellent, excellent. I thought I was the only one that could be quoted. Perfect. Clearly I understand how Twitch works, guys. Don't worry. I've got this. I feel like my quotes all require a lot of context currently. Hello, Mohawk. Do you have a mohawk? Why, yes. Yes, I do, says the doggo. There's so many shapes in this animal. T-minus 2 months until summer sushi. What? Do you? Okay, so can you actually make sushi with wild caught fish? I heard that was super dangerous. Or do you just mean like super fresh sushi? Sushi. Ugh, I love sushi. Wish it was not so expensive. It's so expensive in Colorado. Like, ugh. Go figure. There's just not a lot of ocean nearby. Okay. Drawing a maned wolf on a dance floor is much harder than drawing a maned wolf in chess diagram. I'm really resisting the urge to look up the term maned wolf on the dance floor. I made it too fluffy. I got a little carried away with the fluff here. We're gonna defluff just a little bit. I don't love that I can't quite see its eyes, but here we are. Majority of fish are caught wild. Yes, this is true. But I heard something about like actually using raw fish as being like super dangerous, at least in the States, because there's like tons of parasites. I could be wrong about that. I've never lived by the ocean. I just feel like every year I hear a story about somebody dying from trying to make sushi while they're like with wild caught fish that they haven't like flash fried. What is it that they do here in the US? They have to do something to it. Like, this could be wrong, but a few years ago at least I remember reading that technically there is no raw fish served in America. Like even stuff that says it's like raw, like for sushi and sashimi and stuff, it has to be flash frozen or flash something. Something is done rapidly to that so that the texture of the raw fish is maintained, but it like instantly kills anything that could be in it. I don't know. Sloppy, you live by the ocean. Maybe any of this sounds familiar to you, because I don't know. But the idea of fresh sushi sounds amazing. All I'm trying to say really is that I'm jealous, because I do love some sushi. It's so good. Ugh. I went to H Mart this weekend and I shouldn't have, because I bought so many snacks and literally I have eaten almost all of them. Like I just ate all of them Sunday night and Monday. It was so bad. I thought they were gonna last me at least a week and they did not. It's such a good flavor. Got some kimbap, got some dumplings. Oh, so good. All right. I'm just gonna color you in right here because that's what we're doing. Oh, somebody mentioned Elton John earlier. Here you go. Is this the Elton version? Oh no, this is a cover. I apologize. But it is an Elton song. Oh, it feels so real. Let's see. I just know that I definitely would not trust eating the fish from the Baltic Sea. Oh, really? That poor place has been treated like... Oh, yeah, that's sad. That's true. Like, I would never eat fish, I don't think, caught in the Gulf of Mexico, like in Texas. Just having been there. I mean, I'm sure I have, but, like, if I know where it's from... I think they do shrimp out of the Gulf. But I think that there's, like, so much... I don't know. I like to call it the armpit of the ocean, because it's, like, in this weird curve. And everything seems to get trapped behind the barrier islands, like in between Texas and the ocean, and it's just kind of like dirty. It's like not good. It's like not a good ocean to be by. But yeah, I feel like everything kind of ends up in there like a sink trap, you know? Oh, okay. Oh, me. Yes, what? Oh, hold on. Flash frozen, yes. Is it flash frozen? If it was flash fried, it would be... That's true. That's true. It must be flash frozen. Hold on, I'm getting the numbers before I stop nonsense. Thank you, Sloppy. I appreciate you doing the research to satiate my random curiosity. Thank you for being willing to do that. Drawing a maned wolf... Oh, yeah. I do kind of want to look that up, though. I think it's mainly lake and river fish that might be a risk since they are affected. That makes sense. Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. We're all just pontificating here. I'm not gonna hold anybody to anything. Like, look, I'm sure I've said things that are maybe not accurate. Things that I've just repeated that I've heard. It's okay. Just don't, as long as it's not AI generated information, I think we're alright. I don't trust that at all. Just know that I definitely not, yeah. The face shape of maned wolves and foxes is so angular. Yeah, they almost don't need a real bird. What do you mean? Just put a black beak and some orange wings and call them... Oh yeah, it's true. The head shape is super... Like the skull even. You can see when we did the fox skull. I see what you mean. Yeah, like it is very beak-like. I feel like dogs are a little different. But yeah, definitely... Especially the eye orbital, actually, now that you mention it. Is kind of... It's wide. It's wide-eyed. Throwing some color on this boyo. Let's see. Farmed fish can be eaten raw without the need. Oh, interesting. That makes sense, because they're probably treated, or like they keep the parasites out. Wild caught fish can and still are eaten raw, but the FDA requires that it be held at until -4 degrees Fahrenheit for a minimum of 7 days. Interesting. And -31 until solid for 15 hours, or frozen until solid, then held. Okay. Is that... Sorry, fell caps. Oh no, that's okay. I don't mind. But you gotta draw a Tibetan fox. Oh yeah, I think I've heard of those. I don't know if I have any references. If you have a reference that you think would be good, I'll do that real quick. I'm just kind of playing. I need to stop trying to paint in Paint Tools in Paint Tool side. Every time I'm just disappointed by the lack of options. I keep telling myself I'm gonna start doing these in Krita, but I keep just really liking the way that the ink tool works in Sai. Sorry guys. Oh well, we're just studying color markings and gradations right now. I'm not trying to make a finished colored piece here. It's fine, it's fine. I've heard that if you're pregnant, you should avoid eating. Yeah, I've heard that too, because of mercury. Yeah, yeah. Let me see if I do have it. I might have a Tibetan fox, actually. I might, because I feel like, don't they have really unique... Yeah. Yes. I do remember these. This is... Were you here yesterday, Lagum Core, when we looked at the snake? Okay, for those of you who were here yesterday and we looked at the sand boa, I think... Yes. Oh, I forgot. I knew this sounded familiar. These animals look photoshopped to heck. Alright, so for those who are not familiar with the Tibetan fox... Everything about this animal looks fake, but this is what they look like. This is like... Well, what did we look at? We looked at the Arabian sand boa yesterday, I think. And they literally have that face, yes. What was it that... I want to put these two in a picture, hold on. Was it the Arabian sand boa? Sad. Yep, it sure was. Here he is. He's just a little guy. Just a little guy being a derp. These two have to be friends, guys. Can you imagine that, like, if that was like a buddy movie or like a kid's book? Like, you know, you just got your Tibetan fox somehow meets an Arabian sand boa and they just go on an adventure together. And they just look kind of miffed or confused about it the whole time. Oh my gosh. So funny. Oh look, here's an Arabian sand boa in its natural habitat. Hold on, this is very funny also. The derpiest terror of the sands. Oh my gosh, hilarious. Yeah, I forgot about Tibetan foxes. I remember they looked unique. I have to save some of these. There's one picture of them that's just like the most... I feel like it made the rounds for a while. It was like a meme. I don't know where it is. But like some of these pictures don't look as bad. I feel like this is one of those foxes that is like only like occasionally takes good photos. It's like how I feel every time there's a picture of me somewhere. Oh my gosh. Now I'm just gonna go down the rabbit hole with these guys. But like, okay, so this one doesn't look as bad. Like it looks like a little more normal, like it's kind of taken from below, maybe is the reason. But also look at them from the side. They have like really weird proportions too. Like it's their face from the front is so round, but they actually have a really, really long snout and such a short little body. They're interesting. Forgot about those. There we go. But like this one's not as bad. Well, it's kind of blurry. It's almost like they just have a really heavy brow, or like they're always squinting. But this one looks a little more normal, I guess. A little more. It still looks a little strange, but that's so funny. Okay, let me finish my main wolf. We'll see how much time I have. Maybe I'll draw one of those. But this is what people... Wait, hold on. I missed some chat. Fun thing is that it's just the fur that makes the head look so square. They're completely normal. Yeah, no, you can, like, the dish shape is, like, just really long cheek fur. Let's look at a Tibetan fox skeleton in a minute. They look like an inaccurately drawn fox. They sure do. Mercury is the problem. It bioaccumulates in the system of fish. It becomes more concentrated the higher in the food chain you go. Interesting. Parasite load in some cases. Cod, for example, is as high as 80%. Wow. Wow, that is high. Thank you for the facts, Sloppy Salamander. I appreciate that. Imagine being the product of hundreds of millions of years of evolutionary refinement just to look like a Tibetan fox or a sand boa. Yes! Like, we have been evolving for eons. Googly eyes. Oh, you can tell he's kind of ashamed. Oh my gosh, hilarious. Could write a buddy comedy about these two for sure. Farm fish don't tend to have mercury. Oh. So the fish that tend to be farmed. Oh, that makes that interesting. Interesting. The sandboa is the comic relief. The Tibetan fox is the straight man. Yeah, exactly. It's like Abbott and Costello, but really derpy animal version. Oh, look. Amazing beat me there. Abbott and Costello. Hot fuzz, but animals. I wonder what the fox will look like shaved. Yeah, let's look it up. I bet somebody's had to shave a Tibetan fox. Probably for like a medical procedure or something. Oh wow, look at this one. It does look like a badly drawn fox. I feel like that was the meme, right? I love this picture. Have you guys seen this before? Like even the marmot is shocked by the proportions of the fox. I'm putting this one in Discord. You guys can just have this one. You don't have to draw it, but it's going in Discord. I'm gonna put it in random. Just in case anyone needs it for later. I'm also gonna drop the sandboa in there. Save, yeah, I should save this. Well, it's in Discord now, it's saved forever. Definitely want to put this guy in there. The Arabian sandboa, so I don't forget what it's called. Okay. Man, this has been a week of funny animals, and I highly approve. This one looks the most out of proportion to me for some reason. I think it's like the short, almost corgi-like limbs, you know? Compared with like the unimpressed fox face. Oh my gosh, I have so many pictures open right now. Hold on, I gotta close some of these. Let's get rid of you. We've already drawn you. I don't need that. Never drew this one, but I think we're gonna move on. I think I'll do one of these before we go. Okay. I do like that color. I kinda wanna paint that. This would be a fun light study, but maybe for another time. Definitely don't need this, although it is funny. Maybe I should make one of those. I need to find some alerts. I'm gonna make notes of like alerts that I need. And I think I might stick some of these funny creatures in there. That would be great. Okay, anyway. Unlike the main wolf, that marmot would be very easy to draw this. Yeah. Way to bring him back, Vale. I like that. I absolutely think you need to draw that marmot. Oh my gosh. Knowing that it's just the cheek fur. That's true. But those are some good shapes too. You know, like you don't want to miss them. Yes. When the backlighting turns into that halo of light is such a lovely effect. That's amazing. That is me. Should that be my raid alert? Should just be this screaming marmot. But you guys, it's so loud. The alerts are so loud right now because I can't hear them. They scare me every time. Heck, I think I jumped yesterday when somebody followed me. I was like, "Blah! What is this sound?" I wasn't ready. I was in the zone. All right, I'm gonna finish scratching in the color on this guy, and then I'll do another one really fast. I love these colors. They're so good. Being lazy and color selecting right now. Except for this, I'm gonna use this color. I've decided. Wait. Okay. For a second, I thought I was on the wrong layer. I was about to have a problem. But we're good. We're good. The one Scooby-Doo pose, yeah, it really is a Scooby-Doo pose. But not, hold on. Anytime I'm a big fan of fish, fan of sushi, and what I mean by summer sushi was that there's a restaurant here that serves really good sushi, but only seasonally. That's really cool, man. Like, the northeast part of the country is someplace I would really like to visit someday. You guys get, I hear, anyway, you guys get, like, the most beautiful fall colors, and, like, I don't know, have some really good seafood, and I just kind of want those things sometimes, you know. Alright, I'm gonna simplify this a little bit because I'm getting too in the weeds. Let's make this make any amount of sense here. You guys wanted some power metal, right? Don't forget about power metal, guys. It exists. Just gonna be lazy and draw in the eyes like this, even though I don't see them. There we go. A little bit of nose shine, just to give the impression of a nose here. Okay, maned wolf. Yeah. Look at that bright yellow. Okay. I am gonna save this, I think, to do a paint study off stream later. I'm not very good at... I haven't done a lot of light halo effect studies, but I feel like it'd be really helpful, so I'll do that later. Let's go ahead and do by request. I'm okay with requests, guys, especially thematic ones. I'm gonna go ahead and do this Tibetan fox. Hilarious. Right after I make this look more like a mohawk. Hold on, it's bothering me. Anyway, he's scratchy. It's fine. Where did you go? Now the question is which one? I don't have time to draw that marmot. I do like it though. I feel like it has to be this one, right? Like it's gonna look like a badly drawn creature. But I feel like it needs to be this. Or this one. This is a great pose. It just doesn't show off its, you know, ridiculousness. There's so many good ones. How do I choose? Okay. This guy, you can see his whole body. Looks good. Look at his mouth. You guys, it's like he's trying to be inaccurate. Look at this. Ridiculous. Okay, I think you need to draw the marmot. Alright, oh yeah, I need to save. It's being deprived. Well, I've lost track of what that is in reference to. I don't need scare notification sounds. Nope, just my regular old notification. That'll get me. My cat just gave me the biggest scare. Oh no, what happened? This is a rich old person vacation hometown. Wait, what? So the options are homes starting at 1 million or 3,000 a month. What? 2-bedroom rentals. That sounds a lot like Denver, actually. Like that's kind of how prices are here. The red panda's place on the evolutionary tree has been debated, but modern genetic place it closely. Yep, raccoons, weasels, and skunks. Yeah, they are mustelids. Yep, exactly. Closer to weasels than they are pandas. I mean, yeah, they're basically fancy raccoons, honestly. Flip stable. Red pandas were named first. Oh, were they? I did not know that, Sloppy Salamander. That's really interesting. Jumps out window. No. It's the giant panda that doesn't deserve the name. And yet got all the fame, you know? So I don't have an attic, but instead I have 2 storage rooms on each side of my office. And I heard some noises, coming from earlier today. That's freaky. My cat was in the same room as me, so I knew it wasn't her. Oh no, I hate that. Now I heard the same noise again. I thought it was trying to open the door, so I held it shut until I heard my cat from the other side. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry that I've been binging scary stories a lot. Oh no, don't be scared. Don't be scared like before. Go listen to some nice stories. I do that too sometimes. I'll go on these like deep dives into scary stories, and I'm not like particularly superstitious. I tend to be toward a little more on the skeptical side of that spectrum, especially now. I think I used to be a little bit more, but every once in a while I'll just read too many or like listen to too many like paranormal stories or like too many super relatable true crime. I don't know if you guys do that, but I know exactly what you mean, because then I'll be like late and I'll hear a noise and like, oh my gosh, it's about to happen. Like, where's my bear spray? Like, somebody's gonna come kill me. It's a bad time. It's a bad time. So I'm glad. I'm glad your cat was the culprit this time. But that is scary. It could have been a rat. You live in the rules, so it could have been a rat. That's true. It could have been a rat. It's probably a rat or a raccoon. Wait, do you have raccoons? Are raccoons invasive in your country? I can't remember. I think we talked about this. Yeah, maybe, see, like here, whenever I hear noises like that, I assume it's either a possum or a raccoon. Or potentially a rat. Just listen to some Michael Bublé. Nothing bad happens when you're listening to Michael Bublé. You know, just go listen to a lounge singer, and you'll be fine. Some Bobby Darin, maybe? Humanity as a whole is stuck in a one-sided relationship with pandas. We bust our butts to keep these things around, but they're not holding up their end of the deal. So great pandas are only famous because they are famous for that. I heard something about that recently, though, is like they're actually maybe not, I mean, they are pretty bad at being alive also. Something about their diet being so low energy that it makes them slower and kind of dumb. Like they just evolved into this strange niche that's like, this isn't really helpful for you as far as longevity. But there was something about how we used to think that they like could not breed on their own, and that's why they were going extinct, because like they weren't breeding very successfully in captivity. And then they realized that they actually needed like, I might be parroting this wrong. Somebody feel free to correct me, but there's something about how they needed actually to be able to climb on things or something to breed correctly, or like there has to be another male. Like the females aren't triggered into heat unless there's a fight or something, or maybe I'm mixing with males. But there was something that we learned that made us think, okay, so at least they can breed on their own in the wild, like more often than we think they can, or something. I don't know. It was interesting. They're pretty useless, yeah. I'm not the only person who enjoys horror stories, but I've heard that it can somehow be de-stressing. Wait, really? Hold on, did I read that right? You heard that it can be de-stressing during bad times to listen to horror? What? I don't know, if I was in that study, I would mess up those results, because I get so stressed. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, it is kind of a money pit. I mean, I think we should do what we can to save the pandas. Like, I don't think that in itself is bad, but I hear what you're saying. There has been a lot of money dumped into these critters. This is gonna look so bad, you guys. I'm like, already, I can already tell this is gonna look wrong. But yeah, no, it like could have been dumped into other species for sure. No, I hear you. I still want pandas to live, but I don't want them to live any more than I want any other creature to live, you know? I'm a little worried about this, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm drawing it too big. Hold on. Let's draw it smaller so that if I do mess up, it's less obvious. Okay, here's your little chest. Here's your little hips. Okay. Here's your crazy head. It's like the size of your rib cage. It's fine. It's totally normal. Very much natural. Oh, those cheek furs. Those cheek furs are gonna get ya. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. What a crazy animal. If anyone's just now popping in, welcome. Sometimes we draw weird animals here. I'm gonna try and make it, I don't know. I can't do anything to help this creature. It's just gonna look badly drawn. I mean, it will be badly drawn, and then it will look also like I've drawn a disproportionate fox. This is like, have you seen when people do, there's a name for it, but it was like a trend for a while online for people to like redraw their childhood drawings or like a kid's drawing of a monster and like turn it into an actual like fully rendered like thing. You guys know what I'm talking about? That's what this feels like. This feels like somebody took a kid's drawing of a fox and tried to make it like a, I don't know, like a real animal, I guess. I'm sorry, we have to pause because Pirates of the Caribbean has to play for a moment. Hands over your hearts, everybody. The movie that launched a genre. A music genre. Honestly, I don't even know about that. The music is so iconic is all I'm really trying to say. I feel like you just know this when you hear it. It's almost like Jurassic Park, which I also need to get the soundtrack for. I don't believe any animals deserve to die off, but I don't think they deserve to live more than animals that aren't evolutionary dead ends. I mean, that's fair. There is like a certain amount of natural die-off, right? Like that's just part of nature. Like the stuff that works gets to stick around, and the stuff that doesn't work has to die off eventually, and that's just how it happens. But I think it's kind of hard. It's hard to know, at least with pandas. I feel like how much of that is human caused and how much of that is just them not being very effective. I don't know. I'm very open to thoughts on this. I'm not super studied. You're actually like taking classes on these things, so you're probably a lot more prepared to talk about this than I am, Sloppy Salamander. Like I just said, science fan, not actually a scientist by any means. Look at this fluffy tail though, guys. Hold on. There's like a little cow lick right there that I just want to draw. We're just gonna leave it there. It looks very funny. Maybe I won't. It looks like it just looks bad. It's already gonna look like I don't know how to draw when we get to the face here. I think that's why I'm avoiding it slightly. Look at these little corgi legs. I really like them. What a high knuckle. Do you see this? Is that... Surely that's not the knuckle. Like, is this the ankle right here? Maybe. Holy cow, that's high. Okay. Drew his feet a little bit cat-like. We talked about that yesterday. That's okay. I haven't studied fox feet, so I don't know for sure if they follow the same trend. They are a cat-like canine. After all. I do think I made this foot too far away though. It's almost definitely both. I keep saying great panda instead of giant. Oh, it's okay. I know what you mean. You're fine. Yes, it doesn't sound like something helpful, but a lot of people I know with mental health issues enjoy horror because it's a safe way to process dark thoughts. I guess I guess that's one way to look at it. For me, at least personally, the way that feels is it just keeps me focused on dark thoughts. I guess, like, I don't know. Like, I want my dark thoughts to, like, be processed and be out of my system. And if I find for myself, like, the more I consume a certain type of media, the more my brain returns to that. It's kind of like the old garbage in, garbage out adage, maybe. But, like, I try to avoid actually, like, truly gory and, like, truly, like, horrific things. Like, I don't do rape scenes in movies, I don't do torture scenes, and that's because I've noticed over my life that, for me anyway, the more I consume that stuff, the more it, like, shows up in my dreams, like, in places where I can't control my thoughts, and, like, the more it comes up just in my, like, my random day-to-day mind wanderings, and, like, I'd much rather spend time thinking, like, yesterday, I thought, like, for half the day I was thinking about rabbit feet, because we had talked about it, you know? Like, I'd much rather fill my brain with those things, because I'd rather dream about that. But that could just be me. Like, maybe other people's brains don't work that way. But for me, I've definitely noticed the more I've stopped pretty much. I don't read. I try really hard to stop myself when I get curious and want to go down those, like, horror story rabbit holes like you're talking about, because, like, they just don't help me personally. They just make me more stressed. But that could just be me. Like I said, everyone's brain is different, and that's kind of the interesting beauty of the human psychology, right? Is we're all built just a little bit different, you know? I'm glad it helps some people. I cannot relate to that in the slightest. Like, it does not help me at all. But I do hear what you're saying as far as it being, like, an accessible, like, this can't really hurt me, so I can consume it and just get that part out of my system, maybe in, like, this safe way. I can understand that, I guess. I just don't personally relate to it. But I do see what you're saying. And that's interesting, because I've never heard that, and I've never thought about that before. Because, like I said, for me, it's just like a, shoot, I gotta stop, because this is gonna haunt me for weeks if I don't stop. Please, let's think about some rabbits. This fox, you guys. Oh, jeez. I'm probably, like, fixing the eyes slightly to make them less... He still looks kind of squinty, but... I also like how one eye is more closed than the other. Could just be the angle. I kind of want to fix it, because it does make my drawing look like I've just drawn this incorrectly. But I think he's, like, curling his lip on one side slightly. Ow, sorry, that was a really weird hiccup. Oh, and it hurt a lot. I definitely underemphasized the cheek fluff, though. So let's fix that. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. So funny, so funny. Good idea. Thank you for the sketch request, Lego Core. This is hilarious, but also very hard to draw because I'm just cringing. Ow. Oh. I'm cringing so hard, my hiccups are trying to kill me. Where's my water? Oh gosh. Maybe they'll go away. Okay, I'm interested in this. Hold on. If I had to pinpoint something that started the pirate genre of pirate fiction, I mean, so technically I would say it would be something like Pirates of Penzance. Like, there's a lot of, like, old swashbuckling movies, I think, that really started the pirate genre, but I think Pirates of the Caribbean, like, reignited that genre as something that you could take a little more seriously, maybe, even though it was still comical. Because, like, I don't know, a lot of the old swashbuckling pirate genre things were kind of, like, goofy, like Pirates of Penzance for a while, kind of set the stage for that. But anyway, hold on, I feel like I've fallen behind on chat a lot. Cozy horror. What is cozy horror? Watch The Thing, The Descent. Horror movies when life is super stressful. It's cathartic. That is so interesting, because I definitely... Maybe it's the right type of horror? I've never heard cozy paired with horror. I'm not gonna lie, those are not two things I would put together. Please explain. I would love to know more about this, because I'm curious. Even though my brain doesn't work this way, I'd love to know how this is helpful. Because it does explain why so many people are super into horror movies. Because I clearly am not having the same experience that other people are having. It's very stressful for me. I think I'm too empathetic, and like I put myself in those situations and I feel like everything is happening to me, and it heightens my anxiety way too much. Like way too much. Humanity as a whole has yeah. Okay, but I'm curious, Sloppy was talking about something, hold on, about pandas. Sorry, I'm really behind on chat. Makes me so angry to think about. I already read that. Very narrow window of opportunity for fertilization and such wide ranges. Okay, I see. Don't believe any animals deserve to reside. Yeah, interesting. Salutes the pirate anthem. Thanks, Amazing. I keep saying great panda. I think I missed something. You said something here that I really wanted to respond to, but I can't find it, Sloppy Salamander. They didn't okay, here it is. The giant pandas didn't really suffer most of the human interaction woes that many other now endangered animals did. I want to know more about that. Like, I don't know what that means either. I have so many questions about the things you guys are talking about. Aren't foxes evolved to fill in the ecological niche of cats? It's possibly. That makes total sense. It's kind of like how the Tasmanian tiger looks very canine, but it's still a marsupial, but it's filling that same role as like a small canine would in that ecosystem. Love tropes that we so surprise. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Treasure Island probably started a lot of it, yeah. I read that as Treasure Planet when you said it originally, Amaze. Very critical of true crime since it affects real people. Yeah, for sure. True crime can get pretty dark pretty fast. I feel weird about it because I think it's interesting, but I also I don't like the true crime that like over dramatizes the horrible things that have happened. Like, I don't need all the details. What I'm more interested in true crime is about how the person was caught, or like how forensic science has advanced to discover certain things, you know, about a crime scene, or like how we can track certain things now with technology. Like, that's the part that interests me about true crime, and just the kind of like the detective work that goes into it, not necessarily the crime itself, because like those things are so sad. Like, I've definitely cried listening to true crime before sometimes, especially when it's stuff with kids. I'm just like, I don't want to know, like, please, I don't need the details. And I feel like it's really, really gross that there's a lot of podcasts and YouTube channels out there that like, oh, we're just being real, we're just sharing all the details. Like, no, you're like, it's like torture porn. Like, but it's like real. Like, it happened to a family. Like, somebody out there is like, what if they become aware of this and they hear this and they have to relive this horrible thing that happened to a loved one or to themselves? I don't know. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I agree with you there for sure. Same way we can almost never do suspense horror. Okay, so, all right, so he's the same way. For me, a non-real monster who is defeated. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, if it has a good ending where good and right wins, then I can get behind you there too. Which can't be solved in a 90-minute runtime. That's fair. I guess I can understand that. Giant pandas were revered right from the start of recorded human history. They were never believed to have medicinal qualities and thus weren't sought after by black market. Oh, interesting. So they were basically protected because of their mythical status in the cultures that they lived in. Huh. The main issue that pandas face was habitat loss. Yeah. Obviously not a great thing, but it's not something... yeah, that's fair. I mean, I guess that's not the same as being poached for food or poached for medicine. I do feel like, you know, habitat loss is still, a lot of it's our fault, though. Many other animals suffer habitat loss already so vulnerable due to poaching. That's fair. It's not, they don't have the double whammy. I see what you're saying now. Okay, fair. Thank you for explaining. Cozy horror is like the hollow places, the twisted ones, or what moves the dead. I've never heard of any of those. The protagonist, I just stay away from horror though, so that's why. The protagonist and dog/cat will 100% survive. Okay. You feel safe to experience the story knowing that no matter how scary it gets. I see. The Pirates of Penzance actually predates Treasure Island by 2 years. Does it really? Huh. I did not know that. Cozy horror for me is when it's not explicit or has jump scares, but just creepy vibe-wise. That's fair. I can do thrillers. I don't love them because I get too anxious about the suspense, but if I'm gonna watch something scary, I would rather it be like a suspenseful scary rather than like a gory terror kind of a horror movie. I don't know. Jump scares get me too easily, obviously. Like, I can't even hear an alert without getting scared. But because there's no poaching or I see what you're saying. Their inability to rebound and recover just tells us they aren't going to. Interesting. We're the joint godfathers of the genre. Huh. There's an indie horror game called Anatomy that is just collecting tapes in an empty house at night. Like VHS tapes? There are no jump scares, but manages to capture that specific fear of the dark you would have as a kid. Huh. Anatomy got you. Oh no. I love it so much. I'm so not normal about it. I've not heard of this. Let's see. I don't know what this one is. Pirates of Penzance 1879. Wow, that is way older than I thought it would be. Holy cow. The traditional medicine thing, there are 2 instances of traditional medicine involving giant pandas. One is drinking panda urine, oh gross, and the other is a mention of panda pelts to control menstruation. Wow. Yeah, I don't like the gory horror. I really don't like any of it though. It all stresses me out. Like, I'd rather just not. Again, it's because it comes back in my dreams, I think, a lot of it for me. And I just don't want to like I already feel like I'm experiencing it when I watch those things, and I can't separate myself from it being like a movie or a book very easily. I will say I have read one, I don't know if it would qualify as horror or a suspense book, and I think like in recent years I've heard people definitely don't appreciate it as a book the way that they seemed to, at least when I was younger. So Vale, what I'm trying to say is, Vale, please don't judge me for this, but I did read The House of Leaves in high school, and I thought it was really interesting. And I thought it was like suspense scary, but in a way that I found really intriguing. Because it was like a figure it out, like, why is it doing this? For those who don't know what that is, The House of Leaves it's about a house that's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Like, that's the whole premise. And I don't think that's too spoilery to say. But it's written in this way that's very like, this really happened, and like, it's an investigative journalist, like, trying to go find out. It's very fourth wall breaky. Like, I don't know. I thought as a high school kid, I was like, yeah, this is interesting. Like, I'm gonna read this. Plus, I really liked that the words were like all over the page. I thought that was a lot of fun. You see that a lot in picture books, but you don't see that a lot in books for adults, and I just thought that was a good time. You guys, this fox looks really weird, and it looks like I messed up on his eyes, but his eyes really are doing that. It's not me, it's the fox. I'll just put a question mark over his head so that he looks confused. So that people know, you know. Actually, I think I made that leg too short. House of Leaves is such a book, I am amazed that they managed to get it. It must have been a nightmare to format for print. Oh, I agree. Oh my gosh, yeah. Knowing what I know now about, like, is it called typesetting still? But yeah, like all that graphic design work. And like how you even get that pushed through. Because I think there were some pages that had cutouts even. Like that publisher had to really believe in that book doing well to put that amount of money into that first run, you know? It's kind of crazy. Oh, Amaze has heard of Anatomy. I'm kind of out of the loop on video games, guys. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong platform to be out of the loop on games. Okay, there we go. It wasn't not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it still looks like a badly drawn fox a little bit. I think I probably overcorrected his eye right here. I didn't make it quite as squinty. Not purposefully. It just kind of worked out that way. There you go. He's just a curious boy. Oh my gosh, I forgot this dragon was here. Okay, hold on. This will be the end of the stream, guys. I'm gonna go find a picture of this dragon to show you what I'm talking about. I think it's right here. Hold on. I don't think I've really showed this on stream before. Oh no, there's an ad break. Okay, I'll wait till after the ad break. Let me see if I even have one of these pictures. I think I do. I think there's at least one picture in here like this. Oh my gosh, this artwork. Where's Ryu? Is she still in here? She needs to be in here. I might text her and be like, hey, come back into stream really fast. She might be at work though. Oh, I found one. Okay. Wow, these pages are so... Gosh. Oh, prepare yourselves, guys. It's gonna be bad. Let me text Ryu really fast. She might want to see this if she's not at work yet. Ryu. About to show an old dragon drawing on stream. She may already be off to work. just in case she wants to see. Yeah, so House of Leaves was interesting. Now that I'm done with pandas, true crime and true crime streamers, podcasters, content creators, everyone who has a hand in the exploitation. Yeah, it feels really exploitive a lot of the times. There are some who I think are really good about focusing on the forensic side of it, and those tend to be the ones that I am interested in. But I agree that a lot of it is extremely exploitative for sure. Oh, you're welcome, Raga. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna wrap up here in a second, but I forgot that this dragon was a thing, so I want to see how close I got. I actually got closer. I forgot about the gums. I used to be really into drawing the gums. I forget until I see this. But if you guys would like to see this really old dragon comic that I worked on with Ryu in 7th grade, I will show you a page from it. A page or two. So let me switch over my camera really fast. Which one is the old cam? Maybe we'll just do this. Okay. Because this camera angle's a little bit better. So here's, oh, but I have to shoot. I can't do that though, because you need to be able to see this. Okay. Well, here you go. Real quick, here's this dragon again. So this is what I drew the first time. This is what I remembered it making. I have two versions of this dragon. So Ryu and I had a math class together, I think it was in 6th or 7th grade, and we decided that a better use of our time during this math class would be to make a comic about dragons together and pass it back and forth in this giant binder. So, so here's the dragon I thought, this is what I remembered of the dragon that I would draw all the time back then. Here is, if I can switch it back over to cam only for a second, here is one of these dragons I was talking about. So don't judge me, but I mean, I drew variations of this exact dragon all the time as a kid. In fact, here's a page from the comic. So this is one of the pages, this is the one I just showed you, and then the next page is that dragon eating this dragon's baby. And that dragon, like, has the exact same face, basically. It's just the nose. And then it's, you guys, it's so bad. And look, he's just saying gulp yum. Because, you know, that's what you say. Obviously. Anyway, one of these days, I thought at one point I would do, like, a video of me reading this comic or something. The little tail. You guys, the little tail. I shouldn't laugh. The little tail's, it's just saying mommy. There's just a little tail and it's wiggling and it says mommy. It's supposed to be so dramatic. But, and sad. But one of the other baby dragons, his lament is that now he's the only boy. That's the sad part. I can't even do it. And so the thing is, like, Ryu also does voice acting. And so I told her one time, if I ever do this video, she would have to voice all the characters. And like the characters didn't even have names. It was like Bubba and Sissy. Anyway, I got embarrassingly close to that dragon. Speaking of schema, when you draw a thing too many times, it becomes, oh, here's the title page. We have Mommy and Daddy, and we have Bubba, and we have Sissy, and we also have another Bubba. The name doesn't matter though, because he clearly dies like 4 pages in. So they can just be Bubba and Sissy. And the name of this story was The Story of a Dragon and Its Babies. Okay, anyway. Ridiculous. I'll have to make a clip of that and show it to Ryu later. I think she's probably at work already. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of my stream, guys. Glad to go out on that note. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That was, whew, my face feels red. It's really embarrassing. Let's just go out on the Tibetan fox, kind of staring at this, I'll kind of slide him over here so he can look at his little buddy, the maned fox. We'll just go out on this screen. He's very confused about what we all just witnessed, as I am. Oh, whoops, I forgot I'm still on my face. Ugh, get off of that, sorry. Anyway, let's go find someone to raid. Thank you guys for putting up with that. It's adorable. I bet you. We had a blast drawing it, Lagum Core. Oh my gosh. It may be bad, but it was made with love. It was made with so much love. So much love and so much failing of that math class. I actually liked math. Math was one of my favorite subjects until that year. I feel like I got so behind because I didn't pay attention and I was just drawing this dragon comic that I never really caught up. Like I always felt a little bit like I didn't quite understand because I think it was like pre-algebra. I think that was that class. It was a pre-algebra class. And that was like the start of all of my math woes for the rest of my life. So it was made with love. I don't know if it was worth it, but it was funny. Yeah, anyway. Oh, thank you for that follow. Rika7, I am shocked that made you... I hope you didn't just see what I just did. And if you're expecting more of that embarrassing sort of thing, I apologize. But I appreciate that follow. That's really nice of you. We are going to go find someone else to raid into. Thank you guys for joining today. It went a little longer than I planned, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out while I drew some dogs and some badly drawn foxes. Even some that have evolved to look like badly drawn foxes. But let's go see what other artists are out there right now. Making some art. Try and make someone else's day here. It's kind of fun to raid. I'm really enjoying getting to meet folks. Oh, you know what? Let's see what Haver's doing. He raided me yesterday. Is he making art? I don't know. I don't remember if he's super PG-13. Hold on. Let me check. He's also showing up twice in my options for some reason. If he is streaming something work safe, we will do that, but I need to check the preview really fast. Who else is on? We've got Duke Hoover. We haven't rated him in a while. Doing some cute Pokemon art. Love it, love it. That would be a good option. Who else do we have? I think that might be it for people I know. Let me see what Haver's doing. Oh yeah, looks like he's working on some armor for a character design. Let's go ahead and raid Haver since he raided me yesterday. I want to return the favor. And we will raid Duke another time. Let's go. But if you guys want to hang out again, I'll be streaming again tomorrow. We'll be doing, I think we're doing African Wild Dogs. Wait, what is happening? Oh, I think part of his stream was coming in. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing more canines tomorrow for warm-ups, and then tomorrow afternoon, my stream then is actually gonna be the Sea Slug Dragon design stream. So if you guys like being around for creature design, that's always a fun one for me. Yeah. If I decide to do more work on that illustration I was working on yesterday, I might stream that later today, but I've got a big to-do list today, so probably not. But thanks for hanging out, guys. I do appreciate your company. Thanks for the chats and the information and for researching things that I didn't have time to research. And yeah, just as always, lovely chats, lovely hangout. It's good to start my day with you guys. I appreciate you. And if it's the end of your day, I hope you're having a good night. And hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until next time, guys, let's go see what Haver's up to. And oh, thank you, Amaze. If you wanted to go to the Discord, if anyone's just now joining, Discord links in the chat. Social media is in the chat, so you can find me in those places.